guys! Today I have, of course, another fall recipe, but this one is also an herbalism recipe, specifically an infused oil, which I know I haven't done an herbalism recipe in a long time, and I'm sorry. And if you're new to my channel and you haven't seen some of my past videos, I'm also a Christian herbalist and I have a playlist for my herbalism videos if you're interested. But like I said, today is an herbalism recipe along with the fall recipe. I only say fall just because it uses a fall or winter spice that you probably know. Today we're going to be making clove oil because not only is clove a staple of fall and winter recipes, it's also a warming herbal carminative along with a topical anodyne or painkiller. That being said, clove can be used as an herbal remedy for a number of things. For inflammation, pain, toothaches. It can alleviate congestion, treat acne, reduce the appearance of fine line and wrinkles. That being said, it's really good for aging skin. And because of its heating quality, it can be consumed as a warming carminative, which can kindle the digestive fire. Clove has many wonderful properties, as it contains antioxidants, is anti-aging, antimicrobial, contains important nutrients. It even reduces sagginess of the skin, removes dead skin cells, and helps blood circulation. And it's even an aphrodisiac. And you're probably thinking, okay, I thought this was just a spice. What even is it then? Well, clove is actually the unopened flower buds of an evergreen tree that's in the myrtle family that's found in the islands of Indonesia. And the full name of clove, or the scientific name, is actually Sagezium aromatica. Okay, enough talking, let's get to crafting. Clove oil is really easy to make. The hardest part is just patiently waiting for it to infuse. For this recipe, you're gonna need roughly 3 tablespoons of whole cloves and 1/4 cup to 1/3 cup of a carrier oil of your choice. I'm gonna be using jojoba oil. First things first, you wanna go ahead and give your cloves a nice rinse, just with water. We're gonna pour our rinsed cloves into a mortar and pestle, or if you don't have a mortar and pestle, you can simply place it in a bag and just crush it with a rolling pin. We're not crushing it into a powder, we just want to kind of break it open a bit to open up those buds. I forgot to mention you're going to want a glass jar. We're just going to place our bits and pieces of crushed clove into the jar. And now we're just going to pour our carrier oil over the cloves. We want to make sure the cloves are fully submerged in the oil. Now that we have our oil sealed, we're going to set it in a cool, dry, dark place for 10 days so that it can fully infuse. But before we do that, let's go ahead and give it a few shakes to get that oil mixed in through all the cloves. I said shakes, but just kind of flip the bottle around a little bit. Okay, I'll see you guys in 10 days. Hi again, guys. I just wanted to add one thing, and that is if you're impatient, which that's okay, I'm guilty of it too, and if you're using a heat-safe glass jar, you can boil some water in a pot, place your jar of clove oil in the boiling water, allow it to boil for 10 minutes, and then just remove the jar of oil from the boiling water. You'll then want it to cool, and then you can go ahead and strain the cloves from the oil. Then just return your oil to the jar. And that's a quick and easy way to infuse the oil. Both ways of infusing the oil are equally effective. Now take it away, future Michaela. Hi again, guys. So it's been actually more than 10 days. It's been about 2 weeks, maybe even 3. I honestly lost track of the days, but I do know it's definitely been more than 10 days, so we're gonna go ahead and strain our clove oil. To strain the clove oil, it's really simple. You'll just need another container to strain the oil into, basically separating the crushed cloves from the jojoba oil, and you'll wanna have a funnel. Here I have two different funnels. One has a wider end and the other one has a smaller end. I'm gonna choose to use the one with a wider end just so it allows the jojoba oil to kind of pass through the crushed clove a little bit easier. But this one is good for making sure that you don't get any of that crushed clove into the oil that we're straining, but we can always just remove it if you do choose to use this one and a few of the cloves escape. So we'll just place our funnel into the container and we're gently gonna pour our clove oil through the funnel. Now you see all the clove is kind of stuck in the container because it couldn't all pass through the top all at once. We're just going to use a spoon or a knife, some type of utensil to get that out into the funnel because there is a bunch of oil trapped around each clove and we just want that to drip into the container with the rest of the oil. We want every last drop. I'm just going to be using the end of a spoon to get all the cloves out. Now the last few bits of cloves that we can't get out and are stuck in the container, we'll just let them be because while we allow this to set and drip, we're gonna go ahead and rinse this container out with some water. Now here we have our rinsed container. We want this to dry completely before we add the oil back to it. So you can either allow it to air dry or you can take a rag or a paper towel and run it along the inside. We wanna give the clove oil enough time to drip and strain completely from the cloves, so about 20 to 30 minutes. And while we do that, every so often, it's good to take a spoon and kind of move the cloves around a bit to release any trapped oil. Now I know you guys see some of the cloves that have escaped through the funnel on the bottom of the jar, and that's okay because whenever we pour the oil out back into its original container, the cloves that have escaped are usually left behind. But if not, it's always really easy to separate them anyways. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes and I'm gonna go ahead and take the cloves and go ahead and discard of them. And now we're just gonna go ahead and transfer the oil back to its original container. Or if there's a different airtight container that you'd like to put the oil in, that's fine too. And I probably should have kept the funnel I used to pour that oil back through, but it's okay. Probably use a funnel though to pour the oil into, but you don't have to obviously because I'm not going to. So we'll just gently pour the oil back into the container, trying to be careful to leave all these escapees behind, which they should just kind of stick to the bottom of the glass or at least just kind of stay behind. If not, like I said, just remove them with a spoon or another utensil. But I will say sometimes a little bit of the really fine crushed clove, like the debris, gets into the clove oil and I don't remove it. It won't hurt it at all. One, just try to go into the oil. I'm just gonna take it out. And again. And there's a little bit of debris going in there, but that's okay. It really doesn't bother me. Once again, if those particles in the oil really do bother you, just remove them. And if you do want to get a really pure oil, try to use a mesh strainer to strain that oil through before putting it back into its original container or whatever container you're choosing to store it in. So that process being, run it through the funnel to take out all the big chunks of the clove, and then run it through a mesh strainer, and then return it to its original container. Here's all the leftover cloves that escaped into the oil. We'll go ahead and just discard of these as well. And we'll go ahead and just place the top back on our container. And here we have our clove oil. Now to store our clove oil, we want to place it in a cool, dark, dry place, and it'll stay good for about 3 months. Or you can store it in the fridge and it'll stay good for a bit longer. Just of course, always keep an eye on your oil, along with other homemade cosmetics and skincare, just to make sure that they're still fresh and good to use. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you happen to like it, found it interesting, or if it was helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. I always love answering any questions you guys might have, so if you do have any or any comments, go ahead and leave those in the comments section below. Bye guys!